Today on Dream Homes, we are checking out two custom-built waterfront houses here on the Indian Arm in North Vancouver.
One home was influenced by its Goldsmith owner, and the other designed by a world-renowned architect. The first home on today's show is the epitome of West Coast living. It's an 8,500 square foot house with 15-foot ceilings and a personal dock behind us with deep water moorage.
This place was designed by an award-winning local architect. You might recognize one of his houses from the movie Twilight. He's designed homes all over the world, and he's been doing it for 45 years. We're checking out two multi-million-dollar West Coast homes. It's going to be a good show.
I can't wait to get this tour started and check out our first waterfront Oasis. When famed local architect Brian Hemingway traveled to Asia for work, he had no idea how much the experience would influence his architectural style.
I became fascinated with that part of the world and this notion of mixing the East and the West. So that really is what these places are.
Hemingway now exclusively designs custom houses in the Pacific Northwest.
Every one of Hemingway's homes is unique, but there are some subtle ways to recognize his work.
These windows are a bit of a signature of mine. You'll see them in almost all my homes. And they do something with light because of the shape of the glass. And when you put water outside and you get that reflection and refraction of light, it adds a kind of life to the building itself. Architecture for me is something you feel here and you do. You don't really talk about it, you just do it.
It's truly become a lifelong passion for him, so we can't wait to get a tour of this incredible house. We are starting our tour in the great room, and I have to say the first thing that I notice is the beautiful wood in here. What kind of wood is this?
It's all Douglas fir. It's local Douglas fir here on the West Coast.
And I noticed that there's very few imperfections in a lot of the wood. What's the reason behind that?
You're not looking at solid timber, you're looking at a veneer, a 1-inch thick fir on top of glue lambs, which some would say is artificial, but that way we're able to put pristine wood as the finish, and the wood will always stay this way.
It certainly is very consistent, very elaborate, and I have to ask you too, what is the kind of floor that we're standing on?
All the flooring in the whole house, in fact even the walls, is all Pennsylvania bluestone, all finished a little bit differently. The floor finished in one way, the fireplace another, the mantle another. It's all consistently the same material.
I think what's really interesting about this place is the fact that a lot of the work with the veneer cabinets, with the wood, was done on site. Is that right?
Yes, and that's not normal. The client in this instance was very particular, and he wanted to have control over the quality of everything. And so he actually hired a carpenter, bought the tools, they built all the windows, all of the cabinet work, everything in the house.
Having carpenters right there on site makes a lot of sense, because if something doesn't work, you don't have to send it back. You can fix it right there. That's efficiency. And what I love about the design here is we don't have a lot of walls, so the kitchen kind of goes with the whole rest of the space.
Absolutely. The whole idea of these houses is that consistency with the environment and from one room to another. It's not a collection of rooms.
The stone you see in the ground may be used more often outside, but because the outdoor and indoors all connect, it makes sense to have it that way as well.
That's right, and in fact, even the thresholds, the sills of the doors, in most homes, they'd be wood. They're bluestone here, partly because of that consistent transition from indoors to outdoors, but also, importantly, because they will never get damaged.
You obviously are a very busy man over the years in building and designing, and there's a process you go through though. You don't just take on any client. Tell us about that process.
So I've been practicing in the Vancouver area for many, many years. People found me, they liked what I did, they wanted one of my homes, and I would always start off by living with my clients for at least a couple of weeks.
Saves on rent for you too.
That too. I work out of my garage, so there's not a lot of rent there, but I spent a lot of time with them, and we get to know one another. Some writer once in a magazine had a title above a paragraph saying that here's an architect who actually sleeps with his clients.
Stay with us because after the break, we're checking out more of this incredible waterfront home.
Today on Dream Homes, we're on the North Shore, touring 2 spectacular properties.
Brian, we have found our way into the master bedroom, and I would consider this really a separate wing of the house.
It is. The whole point of it was to get the privacy and the separation for the master bedroom.
And it's really like a little bit of a getaway from the house itself.
You have to actually travel to get here, and it's down on the ground. That way you're really connected with the landscape and the waterfront. You're actually facing east, so the morning sun is what awakens you.
Now, if you don't want to be awoken by the morning sun, there's also some nice dark drapes in this room.
I can't imagine you wouldn't want to be awakened by the sun, but you're right.
Maybe have a late night.
The blinds are concealed in the beams actually around here. You can't see them at all. They're the shade blinds where you can see out, but you can't see in.
Love the technology, plus your any nosy neighbors. You're taking care of that right away.
That's
too.
true, that's right.
We are sort of below the great room of the home, but we have continuous skylights.
It's a little bit of a kind of classic thing that I do with most of my homes. It's a ridge skylight that acts like a spine and affords natural light regardless of the weather.
Those skylights are beautiful. And hey, living in rainy Vancouver, it's nice to get that extra natural light whenever you can. Let's talk about the stunning bathroom. Now, is that about as big as the bedroom?
The bedroom is probably 20 by 20, and I think the bathroom is about the same size.
I love that. Lots of space, a big open shower, and a Roman tub.
That's right. It's all built out of stone. It's custom made in the ground. If you look closely, there's a little slot underneath the step, and quite a wide band of water comes into the tub. The closet is as big as the bathroom, and usually the lady of the house loves that.
Oh, I would absolutely love that, yeah.
Hey, the man of the house can love that closet too. Not that I'm the man of the house, I just happen to be the only male. It has its challenges.
And what kind of wood is in there?
It's fir. The whole house is fir. In fact, all the wood in the house has come from the same group of trees that we found that were felled in 1926.
I love that again with the continuous theme.
That's right. It's all very consistent. Keep in mind the word harmony.
Consistently dreamy.
So we've checked out the inside and now we've made our way out back. We're standing in the backyard with this beautiful view, but first thing I want to talk about is that gate out front and kind of the experience you get when you walk through it.
I suppose the whole front entrance landscape thing is a little bit sort of Shinto-ish. A winding path alongside a little babbling brook that leads you to the house itself. You're really sort of leaving the day-to-day world behind, and you're coming to a sanctuary.
Well, unlike the homeowners, when I walked to the gate, I actually was going to work. But once I got into that space and saw the beautiful bridge and koi pond, I forgot I was working. Well, that is until I saw Peter.
And a great spot for entertaining as well. You have a covered barbecue over there, a lot of space behind us for having people over.
Absolutely. The owners of the home do a lot of entertaining. The covered area out here under the trellis and the glass is really like an extension of the living area, so they can entertain pretty large groups. The outdoor kitchen caters to that entertainment, so it seems to work quite well for them.
At the end of the day, if you have a bunch of people over, you want to kick back, there is a custom-made hot tub with a waterfall, which is incredible.
The waterfall is a bit of a misnomer. Don't sue me for false advertising. It actually is a waterfall element that runs down the wall adjacent to the hot tub and implies water arriving in the hot tub, which it actually isn't.
Well, it's very unique, and not a lot of people can say they have a waterfall into their hot tub. Correction, and not to brag, but I do have a hot tub waterfall in my house. Well, actually, it's just my bathtub, which I turn the faucet on full blast and lay down underneath. It's all about perspective. If that's not enough, of course, you have, again, this beautiful view that we've talked about. And you can actually see right through from where we're looking right now from the front as well.
Most of these homes that I work on are waterfront properties, and I think it's really important to be aware of that in subtle ways, right from the point of arriving at the house. You're on a bridge crossing it to the front door, and then you see the body of water beyond.
And a huge dock where you have deep water moorage, so you can park your boat as well.
That's right, that's right. And the deep water moorage has enabled us to generate energy from that ocean. The house is actually geothermally powered.
Wow. That helps to save some money, which you can put into having more parties and enjoying the inside and the out.
That's right.
You know, I just cannot get over what a great job Brian did with this home, both inside and outside. It's just spectacular, and he even left some room for some recreation. I'm downstairs in a nice area with a pool table. It's got a big screen TV, a fitness area. Just kind of need some music or something.
And I don't want to brag, I used to work in Mexico and I picked up a couple of chords when I was down there. Just quite literally a couple, two.
Maybe more exploring, less music.
Watch some TV? Ah, dream homes. Oh, yes, that is a fair response. Understandable. Bianca, I think one of my favorite things about this place is the fact that you have water in the front yard, water in the back, and you can actually see it from both sides.
I think this place is exactly the way that Brian envisioned it. Once you walk through that front gate, you start to relax, you follow the stream to the front door, and by the time you've gone through that front door, you've completely forgotten about your busy, stressful day.
Yeah, and the hot tub with the waterfall, that's going to help you forget about a stressful day as well. I'm thinking about calling him up and maybe getting him to design my place, just so I can spend 2 weeks with him.
Great idea.
Actually, maybe I should go to his place for 2 weeks, because it's probably much nicer than mine.
Yeah.
There we go.
Stick around, because after the break, we'll show you another beautiful North Vancouver home with one of the most unique bedrooms we've ever seen.
Today on Dream Homes, we're getting a taste of life on the North Shore.
We're here in North Vancouver, a small community called Woodlands on the beautiful Indian Arm.
This waterfront estate sits on 3 acres, and it's got deep water moorage, which is pretty much like having a permanent parking spot for your boat.
That's right, Bianca, and the owner is a goldsmith and a very talented artist. Her work can be seen all throughout the house.
This incredible oceanfront property has been in Susan McDonald's family since her grandfather bought it 45 years ago.
He never lived here, he just bought the property. He had a great eye for cool places.
Unlike her grandfather, Susan is lucky enough to call this place home. And 9 years ago, she began using her incredible welding skills to turn it into this present-day work of art.
I like working with metal, so doing sculptures, welding, using torches, it's all fun.
Susan's ability to take something like a canoe and turn it into a lighting fixture is what makes this house one of a kind.
Most of the things in the house have been repurposed. They've been, at one point, had a life as something, and then I've found them in junkyards or antique stores, so it makes it kind of a funky place to live.
And a place we can't wait to see more of. Let the tour begin.
We're standing in the main room of the house, and I've got to ask you, does this view ever get old?
No, it's changing constantly. There's boats going by. I can have the door open and live in and out, or I can close it up if it's pouring rain and light the fire, and it's just a constantly changing home to live in. It's wonderful.
I imagine you've had a couple parties. You entertained a few times around here. This would be a great place to hang out, whether it's inside or outside, or on a beautiful day like today, you can open up the door and enjoy yourself.
It's great. The police have we don't have addresses, so it's so hard for them to, they may get complaints, but they can't find where we are, so.
That's perfect.
We can have the music going all night long. It's great.
We won't broadcast the location of where we are. We're in a secret location right now.
Peter, we already told everyone where we are at the beginning of the episode, so it can't really be a secret.
When we walked in, we were overwhelmed with all the artwork, and this is actually a lot of your doing. You did a lot of the stuff in here, right?
I started collecting things, and the front door is a jailhouse door from England, and they have the little place that they used to slide the food in, and they could check on the prisoner in there, and they're really heavy. Each one weighs about 500 pounds.
Right next door, behind us, you have a bit of a games room. And again, like everywhere in the house, there's a lot of really cool things going on in there, including a wine closet with a safe door for a door.
Yes, that's an old bank vault door.
Wow.
And it had one of these things that twist on it, but it wasn't a really great handle, so I found the handle. It came off an old press, and I just welded the two together and made a great wine cellar door.
Wow, a wine cellar with a bank vault door. Now that's impressive. Also really handy when Bianca's at your house.
How much of what you do have you passed along to your kids? 'Cause it sounds like they're pretty involved as well.
Well, that was part of the reason I did this. It was just me and the kids here, and it was fun. We'd sit down at night and we'd draw pictures of what we wanted each room to look like, and the kids were part of the whole process. It was a learning project for all of us. They all learned to weld, they all learned to use a hammer and design things, and my son's now getting his master's in architecture, so I'm hoping my kids build their own homes that are really unique too.
Wow, this is the most spectacular bedroom I think we've ever seen on Dream Homes. This is so unique, and this view is absolutely amazing. Now, much like the rest of the house, you've done a lot of the work yourself in this room, is that right?
I have. That's part of the joy of doing this project, was doing a lot of it myself. So I did all the metal work and the sculptures.
So a lot of the stuff that you see around here you got from a rail yard, is that right?
Yes, I got to pick through it, and there's old train lights, and the handles for the doors are railway ties. Everything got used. It's nothing went to waste.
Now let's talk a little bit about your bathroom, because it's kind of spread all over the master bedroom. You've got a shoe closet where you have a toilet and a sink in there, and your tub and your shower. That is just incredible.
The tub was an old reclaimed tub, and it's got hot water coils around it, so it's always nice and warm.
Wow.
So you get into it, and it just keeps the water really, really hot.
And it's in the ground, so, you know, if you've had a couple glasses of wine, you want to have a quick little soak there, you can just fall right into it, which could be really nice, especially when it's that warm. Tell me about that chandelier that we see behind us. You can actually put that up and down, and you made that as well?
I did. That was the first thing I ever made. I realized once it got up there I wouldn't be able to light the candles, so I had to figure out how I could lower it down and light the candles and then lift it up. It has all these old railway pulls and different things to make it so that it moves.
The first thing I ever made, I think, was a bird feeder in high school. And it did not look anything like that chandelier. So for your first project, that's extremely impressive, and a great feature, the way it goes up and down. Obviously the view is spectacular, just like the rest of the house. Doesn't matter where you go, as long as you're looking at the water, it's great. But I did notice that you don't have a TV in here, or do you?
The TV's behind a sculpture. I just hated looking at it. So I did this sculpture that slides down and covers the TV and then lifts up when I want to use the TV, or it's a computer too.
So let me get this straight. There's a TV back there that also acts as a computer, and the whole thing is hidden by a handmade sculpture created by the homeowner? I'm impressed.
A day like today, you can open up the door, you get all the fresh air inside, but you can light the fire and still stay warm as well.
The heating is in the floor, so you don't want to have the doors open all the time when you've got the heat on. But in the summer, I pretty much leave the doors open and live with the doors open. It's like a sleepover out in the wilderness. It's pretty perfect. So this is the kitchen.
Wow, it's beautiful. I love that it's kind of kept the rustic look of the rest of the house.
Yes, the whole house can be abused and used, and it just gets better. There's nothing fussy about it.
I can't get over the fact that there is a big window pretty much in every room and a gorgeous view, even here in the kitchen from the dining room table.
That's the point of living here, is looking at the water, looking at the boats going by. It's like indoor-outdoor living.
Now, I mentioned it earlier because I'm pretty excited about it. You do have a boat in the kitchen. You have a canoe hanging up above, and I think it's safe to call it probably the world's coolest lighting fixture.
It's quite dark in here at nighttime, so I needed some more light, and I found this canoe in a field, and it was so beautifully made. It's all hand-strung, and it's just gorgeous. So I put it in, and I put it upside down so the light is shining on it. You can actually see all the shadows of the stringers. It's a work of art.
It really is, and it makes the room so cozy, and it really shows your ability to take something and make it into something completely different, which we also see in the handles that you have on the kitchen fixtures. Where'd you get those?
Oh, well, they're just your everyday handle from Lee Valley, and I took them and put them in an old cement mixer with some gravel and salt water and left them there for about 2 days, and they came out rusted, and they look like they're 1,000 years old.
I love it. Your countertops, they look very functional as well.
Those are just poured concrete, and I wanted that because so low maintenance, and you can put pots right on it. We experimented and made molds and poured them, and we actually got better as we went along. So the first few have a few little imperfections, which I don't really mind. It gives it character, but definitely I got better as the house progressed.
Mm-hmm. And no one has the same counter.
No, I'm sure they don't. Most people wouldn't want that, but I actually think it's kind of cool.
And you know, if you're having a party, things get a little out of control, someone gets in the canoe, it falls down. Countertops, they'll be just fine. Canoe, not so much.
When I look outside, I also see that you've got a beautiful dining set outdoors. Is that concrete as well?
It is. It was sort of done as a sculpture because you can use it and you can look at it, and just, it's beautiful when the leaves fall on it in the fall, and in the winter it gets covered with snow, and it's just a living sculpture that you can actually use. In the summer it warms up, so when you have a dinner party and sit at it, the chairs are all nice and warm.
Yeah, and you know what? It really kind of works with the property. It's not like you put in this big, bright IKEA outdoor set, right? It actually works, and it's beautiful to look at. And we can probably let Peter have lunch out there because it looks like it's easy to clean up as well.
Hose it down.
Exactly.
Wow, Bianca, the inside of this place is amazing. But where we're standing now in the backyard, well, this is just the icing on the cake.
Couldn't agree more, Peter. With these beautiful views and 3 acres of waterfront property, there's so much room for entertaining.
Yeah, and speaking of entertaining, what I find entertaining is beating you at a game of chess.
Okay, that sounds like a little friendly competition.
Yeah, there's a giant chessboard back here, and I think we should go check out the yard and play a little game.
Sounds good.
Ladies first.
Bad move, Peter. Checkmate.
Okay, Bianca, I admit it. You're better than me at chess, but
It's true.
I can skip a rock further than you any day. Yes.
Oh.
Your turn. What was that? You're working your technique. Well, Bianca, it's been a lot of fun checking out this house, both inside and out. But what impresses me the most about this house is all the work that Susan put in. It's truly a work of art.
It sure is, and the fact that Susan is a goldsmith means she's put her stamp on every room, from that incredible master bedroom suite to the unique and cozy kitchen.
What's unique about this house, Bianca, is the fact that it has deep water moorage. A lot of the places around here don't have it, and it actually increases the value anywhere from 10, 15% or more.
Wow, and that's a great selling feature, and this place is for sale for a little over $8 million. Now, Peter, we've got to head back to the office. I did notice that incredible yacht behind us. Is that our ride?
Yeah, actually, that would be awesome, but I checked for keys, and I think she took them with her.
Ah, okay, so we're taking those.
We will be taking those. Race you back. We're here in North Vancouver in a small community called Woodlands on the beautiful... Bug went in my ear. 3,
Two.
2, you go? I
Yeah,
go.
me go.
Okay, I'll
Three.
go.
No,
3,
it's me.
2.
Me. 3, 2.
The first house...
This place.
Yeah, okay.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.